Hello, my friends. Most of you know me, but for those who don't, my name is Keleher. And those who do know me have seen me developing my own personal mission statement over the last 6 months or so. And what I've come up with is to channel the power of positive energy to help as many people as possible to find happiness, be healthy, and live free. And this video is to share my story about the origin of my mission, where it came from, where it's taken me, and where I'm going with it. So the story starts when I was 7 years old, and I was attending a public elementary school in Massachusetts, and I was bullied. I didn't fit the system well, it wasn't serving me well, I was bored, and I have a feeling I'm not the only one who's had these kind of experiences. And unfortunately for me, my amazing parents empowered me with the choice to enroll in an alternative type of education called the Sudbury Valley School, where I was given more freedom, more self-responsibility, and I was able to learn how to become effective in society. And this educational experience changed my life. And so then flash forward 8 years. I had a near-death experience. When I was 15, I was riding down the freeway with my friend from high school who was driving a Jeep Cherokee. I was in the passenger seat. We're cruising along, and we come up on this green pickup truck. And I know for a fact that the woman driving the pickup truck didn't check her blind spot because I was commenting on the quality of her mullet at the time. And she went to merge into our lane, and she clipped us. And my buddy swerved to try to avoid her, but she still got us. And when he corrected to try to stay on the freeway and not go in the median and roll into the ditch, our back tires caught, and it sent us flipping into the air. And we flipped multiple times, and then we landed on my top right corner and bounced and flipped and rolled again before landing upright, miraculously. And like it was straight out of a movie, I looked over at him, and he looked over at me, and he said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think so. Are you?" And he was fine. We were fine, both of us. And later at the hospital, when we were getting checked out, my dad said something that's stuck with me and changed me profoundly ever since. What he said was, "Kevin, it's a miracle that you're alive right now. You must be here for a reason." And I took that to heart. And not so much in like an I'm Superman sort of way, or I got to save the world, or I'm better than anybody else, but more that we're all here for the same reason, and that is to help as many people as possible and to make this world a better place for ourselves and those around us. And basically, I got to have a midlife crisis at 15 instead of at 50. And it was an experience that inspired my personal mission, and I didn't even realize it until within the last few years. And what's amazing is when you do that sort of work, it's that helps people, that creates value for people. It's the most gratifying work you can do. It's the most rewarding work you can do, and you can be rewarded well for doing that good work. And so you might think, why not go into politics? And my cousin Eric actually asked me the same thing when I was 19. He was like, "Kevin, you're always debating with people and you're really passionate about helping people. Why not run for president?" And I just kind of laughed and said, "Never. That system is broken. I don't want to enter that broken system. It's not serving our people well. I mean, just look at the government shutdown. It's pretty ineffective. I'm pretty sure you are all well aware. And it's not even run by the voters or even by the elected officials. It's really run by the power behind the throne, which is the people who have money. And we live in a capitalist democracy here in America. So those with the capital make the rules. And since Citizens United it was enacted, corporations are the ones that get to make the decisions. And these corporations lobby for legislations that allow them to externalize a lot of human and environmental costs in exchange for higher short-term profits, which is their primary driver. But it neglects the fundamental humanistic benefits of these components that they're externalizing. It's damaging our society greatly. Not that to say that these are bad people working in these corporations. They're good people with good intentions. They're just trying to create jobs and to fulfill their fiduciary responsibility, which is a law that was created during the Great Depression to protect the wives of soldiers fighting in World War I. What happened was women were deprived of financial education then. And so when these men all went overseas, they didn't know what to do with the checks that they were getting sent back from their husbands. And so they created this legislation where the corporation is required to return profit to shareholders so that women could just invest in whatever company they liked, and it still was the motive that they would make money on it. Since then, women have become more educated, thank goodness, and we have a much more educated society, and people are now responsible for being educated about their investments. So this whole fiduciary responsibility is not necessarily needed in our corporations anymore. But yet it prevails, and companies are solely responsible for ensuring profit to their shareholders, and it's skewed them away from the core value that they create and the benefit they create. And there are a lot of people who work for organizations that lost track of their purpose and the good that they do. And a lot of people do that work because they're stuck. They need to pay their bills, and they're stuck in the rat race of, got to make money to, get more stuff and to fulfill, keep up with the Joneses and all this. It's really tragic. And people don't even realize that they're supposed to be in the business of helping people, but they're just caught up in the day-to-day grind. And so my story, flash forward to 2006, I had a similar experience. I was working in the mortgage industry during the bubble growth, and then the bubble burst, and I lost my shirt and my house and had to file bankruptcy. And it was really humbling. And what I learned from that is to pay attention to market trends and to always do work that helps people, because that's where real value is created. That's where you're going to find sustainable income and really be able to help people. And so for the last 5 years plus, I've been studying sustainable business model innovation. And because, frankly, sustainable business is the business of the future. It's the only business that's going to survive, keep humanity alive. And business is also the most powerful, adaptive, creative catalyst we have for bringing value to our society and for helping people. But it needs to be driven by the right motive and not externalize costs and thus create detrimental impacts on our society. And so, frankly, the business model, the model of business, needs to evolve to serve us better. And these systems that we have, I learned, thanks to help from Tom McDermott of Ignite.com, I've learned that I'm a systems thinker. I'm a futurist, and I'm always thinking about how we can make things better for the future and how these systems can work better. And I actually, became a systems thinker from my experience in education as a young child when I, saw a system that worked better for me. I was like, wow, some systems serve people well and others don't and need to evolve or change, but as Buckminster Fuller said, don't try to change the existing system. Instead, create a new system that renders the old system obsolete. So I've been seeking the most effective ways that we can catalyze change and bring value to our community and help people. So I've been studying the economics of sustainability and supply chain management at Arizona State University, and I've defended a thesis, which was from Barrett, the Honors College, which was to co-found Greenlight Solutions, which is a student sustainability consulting organization, which helps students to learn how to deliver value directly for organizations and to help people to operate more sustainably, to reduce their impacts on the society and capture their externalities and focus on the benefit that they create. And so this concept of value creation is unfortunately not taught in traditional schools. Helping people is fundamentally valuable, and people aren't taught that value creation comes from helping people, and we're paid for that value we create. Our economy now has too many people who aren't specialized to create a unique value. We have a saturated employer's market, which is why so many employers are paying minimum wage to people who are highly educated, but their education isn't serving a role that their organization needs anymore. So people are very interchangeable. So if you're replaceable, they're going to pay you as little as they can get away with. And so the reality is our education system actually needs to evolve as well. From K through college, all the way through the whole system, it was created to serve the Industrial Revolution. And it was designed specifically to produce factory workers, which is great. That's what we needed in the 20th century. But not anymore. If you've noticed, we've outsourced most of our production to other nations overseas. We're bringing some of it back, but the vast majority of the things that we use and consume are made elsewhere. And those things, even those jobs, those manufacturing jobs, are being replaced by robots. And so we need something different. We need a different educational system that's going to teach us new ways to create value for society. And Peter Diamandis is a futurist who talks about exponential technologies. And one of them is crowdsourcing of information. And our society is changing through the transparencies that are created by social media and the interconnectedness of all humans on Earth. If you want to know more about that specifically, read The Singularity is Near by Ray Kurzweil. But the reality is, through social media, I can talk to somebody in Zimbabwe right now, or in Spain, or in, Nigeria. It doesn't matter. And it's empowering a lot of great things, like the liberation of nations, like Libya, or the awareness of atrocities that are occurring around the world, like through Kony 2012, and recognizing that these things are going on when otherwise our mainstream media isn't telling us about them. But there's a double-edged sword, of course, to this transparency and communication, this constant on of technology. We lose privacy, which is definitely a challenge there, and our fundamental human rights of privacy are definitely infringed upon right now. But on the other side, we do increase transparency. And I think that's really powerful, especially for business model evolution, because transparency makes people and businesses honest. If consumers are able to make informed decisions with their voting dollars, their economic value, because consumers are communicating directly with each other and sharing directly how their experience is, instead of just hearing what the marketing is coming from the company. We used to have this check and balance system where the media agencies told the truth, brought us the real stories, the real scoop on businesses and government and our leaders, to keep them honest, to say, hey, this is what's really happening, so you can make an educated, informed decision as a citizen. But unfortunately, those media, all the major mainstream media organizations, are owned by corporations. And those corporations are going to push media that suits their own agenda. And that media is typically very negative, very defeating, very hopeless, and very distracting, to try to keep people from recognizing that they can create their own opportunities and go really make things happen for themselves. It's not representative of the truth, which is that the vast majority of people are really good people that are motivated and want to help each other and want to create value and want to do good work. If America was made up of what's seen on mainstream media, then everyone would think we're like Honey Boo Boo or the Kardashians or something like that. But I don't know about you, but that's not me. And so, we're not alone in wanting to help people. And not just locally are we not alone in wanting to help and do good work, but globally. We're now finally so interconnected. We recognize that from all cultures and all walks of life all over Earth, we all have the same goal here. And while we might be different breeds of human because we were evolved in different spaces on this planet, but we're all humans. And now that we're communicating directly and not through a representative, political or business representative that has an agenda, we're communicating directly with each other and realizing how similar we really are and how much our motives are really very similar. We can now really work together, and we have to work together in order to solve the greatest challenges of our day. Like, how are we going to secure clean air? Look at Beijing. Or fresh water. We have a third of our planet doesn't even have access to good, fresh, clean water. Healthy food and nutrition. In the U.S., we're the most overweight and the most malnourished nation on the planet. 70% of our country is overweight or obese. So in terms of sustainable business model innovation, sustainable business for humanity is the business of the future. And people want to purchase from a company that does good. And granted, there is, greenwashing that occurs where people, corporations will try to paint themselves in the language of the prevailing, most positive sounding business. But because of this consumer-to-consumer interaction and how we can really review these organizations, between each other, it's really forcing them to actually put their money where their mouth is, much more than ever before. And so what we're experiencing here is a human communication revolution. And as a result of that, we're also experiencing a human education revolution. This decentralized information access allows people to learn from their living rooms for free. You don't have to pay to go to school to learn. You can learn on the internet for free. There's free courses. You can get a free course from Stanford. And you get less biased information as well because you can get it from different sources. And we're also experiencing, because of this education revolution, we're experiencing a human wellness revolution where people are realizing that they need to take ownership of their own physical health and well-being and not just listen to their doctor. Unfortunately, doctors, again, are really good-hearted people who entered that system to try to help people be healthier. But that system is, again, driven by short-term profit, which is economized through the treatment of symptoms, not of wellness. The FDA and the pharmaceutical industry, by and large, just treats your symptoms. Doesn't actually want you to be well, because if you're well, you won't keep coming back to treat your symptoms, and they won't make as much money. Same with major surgeries. Major surgeries are much cheaper in other nations, and that has to do with a whole other issue with insurance and everything. But nevertheless, major surgeries are treating symptoms, not problems. And so this is also leading to this human wellness revolution, which is also leading to a human economic revolution. People are realizing, okay, yes, we need to live healthier, and we also need to realize that we can't really count on anyone else for our own financial security. If you look at Wall Street, it's a wreck. I wouldn't put my money on Wall Street, that's for sure. I wouldn't invest in the stock market. There is no Social Security or pensions for people my age, that's for sure. And a lot of people older than I am are also realizing that they can't even live healthy on what little Social Security and pensions that they're getting. And so we have to take ownership of our own personal success and financial sustainability in order to secure healthy happiness for our families. And so this is my mission in life, is to pursue these sustainable business model innovations. And I'm excited to be done at ASU and take what I've learned there and continue to really start bringing value to the society. And I'm working part-time still, mentoring and supporting Greenlight Solutions, and co-founding a parent organization that's going to support the student chapters of Greenlight Solutions. But I'm also launching the biggest venture of my life yet, and I'm super excited about it. Starting today, February 4th, 2014, let it be known, I am a personal wellness educator and success coach, and I'm really excited to help people this way. I've partnered with a nutrition company that has created a scientific breakthrough wellness formula that's helping a lot of people to live healthier. You've got to try it. It's really good, and it's delicious. And this business is also helping to decentralize opportunity, economic opportunity, so that a lot more people can create their own success. In many ways, the opportunities here in the U.S., the land of opportunity, have been hoarded by the 1%, and the 99% have very limited opportunities. So in terms of sustainable business model innovation, the affiliate marketing model that we use is a measurable way to be more transparent. It's still evolving, it's not perfect, but it is a better way. And if you think about it, any company that uses this model must have a quality product or service. They have to have it, make something good. They have to be creating value and doing good. Or else who would put their name on the line to tell their friends and family about it? Who would say, I'd like you to try this because I like you, I trust you, I respect you, and I think you'd really value it. It could help you. Who would say that if it wasn't true? Because then they're going to be that guy, and I don't want to be that guy. So I'm working full time on this because I'm super excited about how many people that we can help together as a team and about the financial freedom that we're creating together. I'm working with some amazing people, and our team's growing like crazy. We're looking for a few key people to help us build something great here and get paid to help people to live healthier and to find their own financial freedom. And that's my story. And so if you're interested in learning more about it, about this opportunity or about the products that we have, send me a private message and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. Either way, be well.